Fat bombs. Let's talk fat bombs. Fat bombs are a point of contention a lot. As we know, there are various people who lean in the ketogenic community who are more into the let's not eat a lot of fat thing. And so obviously with a name like fat bombs, they're sort of what you call a hot topic point. Here's the deal. There's nothing magical about fat bombs. This is simply good marketing, that you give something a good name and everybody gets sort of into it. A fat bomb, a sweet fat bomb, is a dessert. Savory fat bomb, it's not a dessert. Is it a meal? I don't know. It depends what else is in it, right? But it's basically anytime. I kind of think anytime you eat something, it's a meal. So there you go. And mostly when people say fat bomb, they mean sweet, because we didn't get fat because we don't like to eat things that taste good. So, that being said, I do believe in a high-fat approach to eating. So, eating a keto dessert, aka a fat bomb, is not necessarily a bad thing. However, I would like to suggest that when people say things like, how many fat bombs can I have every day? I would like, can I eat mostly fat bombs? Or something like, I can't stop eating fat bombs. We are dealing with a problem, right? Like that is a problem, because what should be happening on keto is that you should start to be gaining some control around your eating, which means that you are able to tell the difference between hunger and cravings. And that you say, yes, please, to hunger. When you are hungry, you eat. Hunger is a sign that you need to eat. When you're having a craving, it should be a time that you get to say, what's going on? Am I having a feeling? Am I bored? Did someone piss me off? Am I lonely? Right? If you're having a feeling attached to the craving, that craving is not a request for food. It's a request to be soothed. And if you're eating to soothe yourself, one, you're human. It's not unusual. Spent my whole life doing it. Was my number one coping mechanism in my life. And you're not a bad person, and you need to learn to not do it anymore, which is hard. Am I saying you never do it? No, I mean, of course we all do it every once in a while, whatever, but keeping it real. However, it should not be the way you navigate the world. Eating to fill emotional voids is not a path to health or emotional success. So I often find that overuse of fat bombs can derail your progress because it keeps you on the craving train. Not the gravy train, but the cravey train, which is right next to the crazy train. You can hop back and forth over the tracks. So, and occasionally that train takes you out because the craving train is not your friend. So so can you have fat bombs? Sure. I would be more inclined to call them dessert, because something happens in your brain when you think dessert. And dessert is a treat, and dessert should be rare. Now that being said, if you're hungry and you need some fat, have some. But I find it very different to be, pre-dinner, a little bit hungry, and decide to have a tablespoon of butter, because I'm not going to eat a stick of butter, despite what some of the low-fat people think, versus opening the fridge and there's an entire plate of things that look like bonbons. I'm going to have a few of those, right? So I don't keep fat bombs in my fridge. I actually don't keep, for the most part, pre-made desserts. If I'm going to have a dessert, it's going to be something that I make for that time. right? Now, do I ever do it? Absolutely. But I don't do it back to back to back to back, right? So if I make a batch of chocolate chip keto cookies for a party and I have a few extra, that's okay. Like, I'm able to manage myself on that, right? But I'm not, when those run out, I'm not making some more right away because I don't need that. I might make a cheesecake for a party. And yeah, like there are maybe a few slices of cheesecake in my freezer for special occasions after that because, there's only one of me. I mean, my boyfriend will eat some cheesecake too, but I'm not feeding 8 people an evening. And so I don't necessarily want to have easy access, ready desserts all the time because if you're eating, don't like to speak in absolutes, but I do because I'm that way. I speak in absolutes. I try not. Anyway, it's hard. You might go through a period where desserts fill an important part of your diet to keep you on your diet, and that's okay. I'm not saying that's wrong. There is no moral judgment about dessert. It's not a moral issue. It's an effect issue. What is the effect? Are you getting the effect you want? And sometimes the only effect you care about is not eating sugar and refined carbohydrates. I just need to not eat those, right? And then, eating a bunch of fat bombs is giving you the effect you want. But maybe the effect you want is to get a better relationship with food and not need sweet things every day and to have a more of a relationship with what I would call whole foods. Steak. Steak is a whole food. Some veggies, whatever. But butter. And at that point, regular use of sweeteners might be standing in your way of some of the goals that you have. Sometimes that really just isn't giving you the kind of insulin control you really need to be the healthiest you can be. And so, you have to be willing to look at your habits. And if fat bombs are a part of your habit that you feel like is an adaptation that is serving you, okay. But you have to be willing to constantly question, is this serving me? Now, just going to reiterate, this is not a moral issue because I think we often confuse dietary choices with morality, right? I'm hungry, so I'm a good person. This is a common view with women. I feel good about myself because I didn't eat, right? This is not what I'm saying. But I am saying that fat bombs are desserts. I'm just gonna lay that truth down for you. Okay. Also, a lot of people think. Oh, I will say there is one fat bomb that I actually do more support. You can mix butter with mint. I know it sounds crazy. Mint. I use mint oil, like peppermint oil. Don't go too heavy. That stuff's strong. You can mix it together, like make the butter mixable, mix in a little bit of mint flavoring, and then you freeze it in little bloops, like little coin size things. It's just butter. It doesn't have any sweetener in it, but it's kind of minty. It's like an after dinner mint. I don't see those as negatively necessarily, though I hardly ever make them. But, something like that I don't see really as negatively as many other fat bombs because it literally is just butter and you won't want to eat too much of it. Versus a fat bomb that's maybe like cream cheese mixed with butter, mixed with a bunch of sweetener, mixed with some cocoa, and there's peanut butter involved, right? Like you mix that all together and delicious. And I want more. And, and if that's in my fridge, danger, Will Robinson. So, I hope you get the point. I'm not against them, but I am only for, it's like alcohol. I'm not against it, but I don't support it. A few occasional drink, not a big deal. But you should really check yourself if you need a cocktail every single day. That might get in your way. Okay. That is it on fat bombs. Talk to you guys later.